Welcome back to my channel. So this time round we will be doing on career. So this pick a card reading will be focusing on what you value or you look out for when it comes to career, and what are some career paths that you can consider, and what are some career advices. And without further ado, this is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. Okay, you can click on the timestamp below and I'll see you in your pile. Bye! Hi pile 1, so you have chosen this artwork here. Okay, and this time round, the pick of card reading will be different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle live. Okay, so we're starting off with what you value or look out for when it comes to career. So I will be using 2 tarot decks, and let's see what different tarot decks have to say. Okay, so let me shuffle this first. Okay, for the previous 2 readings I didn't shuffle live because I realized that my hands are quite small and it would really take me a while to shuffle and draw the cards. Okay, let me just shuffle one more time. But I decided to do a change this time around, so let me know whether you prefer for cards to be pre-drawn or for live shuffling. Okay, so what do pile 1 value in a career? What does pile 1 look out for in a career? What does pile 1 value in a career? What does pile 1 look out for in a career? Okay, just one card please. What does pile 1 value in a career? Oh, okay. Wow, we have the sun. Okay, let me position this so that you can see clearly. Okay, so immediately what I get from this card is that you value joy. You want a career that makes you feel happy. It must be a joy that really brightens your heart. It's what you want to do and not what people tell you what to do. It's something that you enjoy doing and you have fun. That work does not become a chore. You enjoy going to work, and that is what you look out for and what you value for in your career. Okay, now we will be moving on to the next tarot deck and see what this tarot deck has to say. Okay, just give me a second while to shuffle this. Okay, what does pile 1 value in a career? What does pile 1 value in a career? What does pile 1 value in a career? What does pile 1 value? What does pile 1 look out for in a career? Okay, so we have 6 of Swords. Interesting. Okay, with this 6 of Swords, right? What I get is that some of you hope that there is some sort of like journey when it comes to your career, and this journey doesn't just means like you get to travel, but you hope to grow in a career, which means you hope that from the time you started this job to perhaps like 3 years down the road, you do not feel stagnant. You feel that there's a growth in it, that there is some sort of journey, even though it's not necessarily a physical journey, but you hope that you're able to mature and grow in your career. Okay, so these are 2 things that you look out for or you value in a career. Okay, now we'll be moving on to the archetypes to see what career path may be suitable for you. Okay, and this will take a while because the cards are really big, and so I always take a long time to shuffle them, so just have patience with me. I don't find that my cards are like small. My hands are small until I use these cards. And the combination of these 2 cards is what I get is that maybe some of you have been working in a job that do not brings you joy, or you don't feel happy in that job, and hence you're hoping for some kind of change, hoping for some kind of like job that will actually makes you happy. Okay, so what kind of career path can part 1 consider? What kind of career path can part 1 consider? What kind of career path can part 1 consider? What kind of career path can part 1 consider? Let me make space for them. Okay. What kind of career can part 1 consider? 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 What kind of career can... Okay, so we have the very first one, which is child nature. Friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. Okay, so what I get from this card is that for part 1, you really love animals and you really love nature. So maybe you want to find a career that allows you to work with animals or just take care of the environment. And some of you may want to work with children as well. Okay, and what other careers can part 1 consider? What? Okay, and what I get from these 2 cards is that because the sun can always reminds me of childhood. So perhaps that when you were young, this is what you always enjoy doing, which is playing with animals, going to the nature. So for you, you want to go back to find that childhood joy that you have, but that may have disappear as you move on to adulthood, and you're just trying to find that joy that you used to have as a child. You're just trying to find your childlike wonder again. Okay, what other careers can part 1? What other careers can part 1 consider? What other careers can part 1 consider? Okay, so we have here, okay, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Dilettante. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger, become superficial in your pursuits. Once again, with this whole entire card, I really feel that for part 1, you may have gotten rather jaded as you work or as you move on to adulthood. You may have become jaded, and you don't really find joy in what you're doing or in your workplace anymore. And all these cards are just trying to advise you to go back to what you enjoy doing when you were young. Be it working with animals, be it going to the nature, or even in the arts. Maybe you enjoy painting, drawing, or just doing something with your hands. Ask yourself what you enjoy doing. Okay, as a child, be it as a child, or that maybe as you grow up, people tell you that, oh, like such career would not brings you a stable income, and hence you should not pursue it and just keep it as a hobby. But you just realize that no, it's just not working anymore, that you're not happy just having a shelter or having the basic necessity. You need more than just bread. Okay, what other careers can part 1 consider? What other career can part 1 consider? What other career? What other? Okay, so the last one we have oh my god, my pronunciation. Femme fatale. Oh my god, I hope I pronounced that right. So highlights the erotic energy of the feminine. Open your hearts when your dependency is rejected. Okay, so explore your feminine side. And feminine energy once again relates back to creativity. Okay, so maybe some of you enjoy doing makeup, enjoying fashion, making a like doing your hair up, like enjoy makeup, enjoy dressing up, anything about feminine energy, or even like doing creative work. So find what you enjoy doing. Okay, if you feel really very lost, not sure what you have to do, ask yourself, what did you enjoy doing even as a child? And that's how you will be able to find the joy back from your work. Okay, and now we'll be moving on to what advice can we be using this real talk tarot deck. Okay, let me just make sure that this okay. Sorry, just give me a second. I feel like I can kind of relate to this part because, as you can see here, this artwork is through oil pastel, and I have not used oil pastel since I was a child, but I always wanted to like delve in art when I was young, but I didn't really pursue art because when people kind of criticize my art, I come to believe, oh, I have no talent in it, and since I have no talent in it, I should not go and pursue it. But sometimes it's not about like whether it can bring you money or you can make a career of it, but that I enjoy doing it, and hence this is what you see here. It's something I enjoy doing it, and even when it comes to tarot, it's something I enjoy doing it. And not necessary because it would bring me fame or wealth or anything like that, but it's something that you enjoy doing. Okay, and when you enjoy doing something, it will not become like a chore for you to do. Okay, so what other career advice? What career advice can you give Paulman? 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 Okay, we have 2 cards here, and we have 10 of Pentacles. Wow, okay, and it's reversed. Okay, so what I get from this card is that maybe some of you really feel the burden from your family. That you may come from a family with this fixed belief or this legacy that you feel the burden to carry on. Or maybe even like for example, you want to pursue arts, but your parents don't think that that is a stable income, and they advise you to think of your family. Okay, that if you pursue art, what will your family become? But the fact that this is reversed, it means that this family expectation or this family legacy has become a burden for you, and it's disrupting your satisfaction with yourself and even with this family. Okay, and here we have Knight of Wands. Look at the Knight of Wands, okay? So Wands are always about creativity, it's always about joy. Look how happy she is just simply by riding a scooter. So ask yourself, what are these small, tiny, weeny, even just as simple as riding a scooter, what brings you joy? What makes you happy? What is that flame that sparks your heart? Okay, and now we'll be moving on to this wisdom cards to see what other advice. Okay, what other advice can you give Paulman? What other advice can you give Paulman? Okay, and we have here, pamper yourself. Okay, so self-care is a necessity, not a luxury. Okay, so always take care of yourself. Put yourself first, and okay, learn to put yourself at the top of your list. Okay, no matter how busy you are, learn to pamper yourself. It can be as simple as taking a longer shower, and if you have a bathtub, soak yourself. It really makes you, it will distress you, and it will just help you to relax, and you can gain some form of like contentment or even joy just by pampering yourself. Okay, or you can just be watching your favorite Netflix shows, anything that sparks joy. And then you have time. Time spent worrying is time spent. Okay, so look at this, what do you call this? So time is very precious, okay? So The only thing fair about life is that each of us have only 7 days and 20 a week and 24 hours a day. And if you spend such precious time worrying, then that time is gone. It's like crying over spilled milk. You will never get back this time. So instead of worrying about or like dwelling on your discontentment, spend this time on more fruitful things, like perhaps working on what makes you happy, or even like pampering yourself, like maybe cooking yourself your favorite dish. Okay, and we will end this reading with affirmation cards. Okay, what affirmation cards, what advice would you give to Part 1? What advice would you give to Part 1? Oops, too many. What affirmation do you have? What messages do you have for Part 1? Okay, so I know that it is important to work hard and play even harder. I'm supposed to have fun. Okay, so you can't relate back to this pamper yourself. Always take time to have fun, no matter how busy you are. Okay, even like 5 minutes just doing your like drawing, or even like just 15 minutes painting something. Honestly, it doesn't take long to like draw or paint. Okay, 5 minutes is better than not spending a single time to pamper yourself, to have fun. Okay, so yes, this is all the messages I have for you, Part 1, and I hope you like this reading, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye. Hi, Part 2. So you have chosen this artwork, and let's get started on your reading. Okay, so first I'm going to draw one card from 2 different tarot decks, just to see what you value for in a career, or what are you looking for in a career. In this time round, I'll be shuffling live just for a change, so please be patient with me. Okay, what does Part 1 value? No, sorry, what does Part 2 value for in a career? What does Part 2 value for in a career? Okay, so we have this card that's trying to come out. The Lovers. Okay, interesting. And then okay, now for the next tarot deck. Okay, let me shuffle that one more time. Okay, my hands are quite small, so I always have a hard time shuffling. So please be patient with me. Okay, what does Part 2 value for in a career? What does Part 2 value for in a career? What does Part 2? What does Part 2 value for? Okay, so this card's gonna come out. Ace of Wands. Okay. Okay, so with this Ace of Wands, I feel that for Part 2, you may be drawn to Part 1 as well, because both powers are the creative powers. So for Part 2, you want something that sparks your heart. If you feel that whenever you do your work or your job or the task that you're supposed to do, it just sets your heart on fire. You feel you have that drive, that willpower. It may be related to some creative pursuits as well, maybe writing, painting, or even if it's not anything that's in the creative industry, you just want something that you enjoy doing that really sets your heart on fire. You just feel a sense of like achievement, a sense of purpose with your career. And even with this Lover, you just want something that makes you feel that your work or your profession is in this union with you, that is in line with you and your belief, as though your work has, in a sense of way, become your lover. You want that satisfaction, like you feel that this job is meant for you. Okay, and now we'll be moving on to the archetype, and we will see what are the career path that you can consider. But yeah, this is okay, this deck is a bit hard to shuffle, so some time. Okay, I just have another message that some of you may want to do something related to romance or even love. Okay, I'm not really sure what kind of jobs involve romance or love. Maybe like a marriage counseling, or even like a romantic novel writer. Okay, so what career path can Paul to consider? Okay, that's too many. What career path can Paul to consider? Okay, I need to stop the camera now because the battery is dying. Okay, so I just hope that I manage to draw one card before the battery dies. So, okay, what career can Paul to consider? What career can Paul to consider? Wow, and you have a child. Magical, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so what other career path can Paul to consider? What career path can Paul to consider? There's too many. What career path can Paul to consider? What career path? Okay, we have here the detective. Great power, observation, intuition, desire to seek out the truth. Okay, let me shift so that everything can be seen. Okay, what other career path can Paul to consider? What career path can Paul to consider? Okay, we'll just draw one last card. What? Okay, this one's to come out, and we have Knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. Okay, so remember just now what I said about love. Okay, so I'm gonna cut here to change the battery. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so what I get from this 3 cards is, okay, there are 2 paths that I see here. Okay, the first one is like what I mentioned earlier. Like some of you may enjoy writing, and you may enjoy writing something about like love, about medieval times, or even a time where, okay, Merlin just came to my mind. So it's along the line of Merlin, where there's knight and there's magic as well. So this is the kind of world that you are keen in creating. So you may not only create it through writing, you may create it through painting, or even what else? Or maybe you're someone who plans the theme park, and you may plan it in this kind of like ancient time. Or you may just is someone who's so interested in that time period that you collect this kind of like antiques, or even like you may be into shamanic rituals. Then another path that I get is that you are someone who stands up for justice, with the knight in detective. And this justice is not in the traditional sense of justice where you become a judge or lawyer, but in a different way, a more unique way, where you seek out your own form of justice. Like for example, you become a detective, and like what I mentioned just now about how some of you may be in the love industry. So some of you are detective and you help people to spy. I won't say help, but you kind of like spy on you are being paid to spy on the spouse to see whether they are cheating on them, and this is your way of uncovering the truth to help lovers seek out their own form of truth. Okay, let me see what else I get from here. Yeah. Or maybe some of you are also a lawyer that specializes in divorce, and even in, what's that term where you help people fight for their the rights to raise their child. Okay, so now we'll be moving on to the third tarot deck to see what other advices you can get. Okay, let me shuffle that one. Okay. What advice do you have for pile 2? Okay, what advice do you have for okay, there's more than one. Let me see this. Okay, this is Queen of Pentacles. What advice do you have for pile 2? And the King of Swords. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I think it's very interesting how you have the King of Swords and then the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, because to me they're kind of like, okay, if this is not in reverse, they are literally the opposite of each other. Okay, so the King of Swords is a very wise, logical person. It doesn't let anyone he doesn't let his emotional side control him. Okay, so as an advice, what I understand is that, okay, because your entire spread kind of revolve along like creativity and also like romance. So what I get is that you have, even though, don't get yourself too involved in your work. Like even when, for example, you are a detective and you catch on someone's cheating, don't let your emotion affect your judgment. It's not your role to judge. It's your role to uncover or even to write about it, but it's not your heart or your mind to judge. Stay rational. And with this King of Swords is that, like, I feel that people who choose this power are very good with their words. You can communicate very well. Okay, and some of you here are really writers, so I'm not surprised at all. Okay, so then with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, so when Queen of Pentacles is like upright, she's someone who's very nurturing, very warm, very motherly, and I like how this card depicts the Queen of Pentacles. You see how she's like in the wild. Okay, so how Queen of Pentacles differ from King of Pentacles is that Queen of Pentacles is more to the wild side. It's the feminine energy. Okay, and the fact that it is reversed, to me, what it's suggesting to me is similar to the message I get from King of Swords, is you need to control your emotional side and don't let it unleash to the point that your emotion become wild. Okay, be it you want to move on to like the justice profession, or even when it comes to writing, don't let your emotion gets to you. Okay, and now we'll be moving on to this wisdom cards to see what other advice you can have for your career. Oh, this is so fast. Wait, this is the same card you got as power 1. Okay, let me reshuffle this. Okay, we're asking for power 2, not power 1, power 2 please. Okay, advice, wow, that's so fast. Oh, body! Okay, and it's so interesting because I always identify like Queen of Pentacles as related to your body. Okay, what other advice do you have for power 2? What other advice do you have for power 2? What other advice do you have for power 2? What other advice do you have for power 2? Okay, this is Sovereign. You are the queen of your life. Treat yourself like loyalty, and you have the body here. Your body deserves your love. Okay, so these two cards just scream self-care. Okay, so what I get is that you need to take care of your body. Okay, imagine if you're loyalty, would you have treat your body that way, or would you have to treat yourself that way? So maybe some of you have been really busy working and not like taking care of your body. Okay, so it wants you to really treat yourself as though you are the queen. Would you treat yourself that way if you are the queen? Okay, have you been neglecting your body? Have you not been spending time? Have you been overworking? Okay, and we're going to end off your reading with an affirmation cards. Okay, what messages do you have for Power 2? What messages do you have for Power 2? What messages do you have for Power 2? Okay. I know that it is important to celebrate each win, no matter how big or how small. I am celebrating me. Okay, so this kind of relate back to the previous two cards about self-love and self-care. Okay, so sometimes in our pursuit or in our career, we get so busy chasing after whatever goals or whatever KPI that we have, that we kind of like neglect ourselves. So always give yourself a pat on the shoulder, be it, and celebrate no matter how small and how big the win is. Okay, most importantly, love yourself. And that's all I have for you, Power 2. I hope this reading helped you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Hi, Power 3. So you have chosen this artwork, and let's get started on your reading. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start with what you value for or look out for in a career, and we will draw one card from 2 tarot decks, okay, to see what different tarot decks have to say about what you value for. Okay, so what does Power 3 value for or look out for in a career? Okay, that's fast. We have 3 of Hearts. That is so interesting. Okay. Now the second deck. What does Power 3 value for in a career? 6 of Coins. Okay, so from the 6 of Coins, I get that for my Power 3, you are very generous, and you are someone who likes animals, and you are definitely a provider. You may be someone who wants to work in an NGO or in charity organization. You just want to provide back to the society for the underprivileged. Okay, you may want to be a social worker. You just have a lot of love to give to the world and to the society. You want to help people who are just not as privileged, or who are just going through a very difficult period of time. So you may even like volunteer to help visit the old folks home or the orphanage, or even just provide a listening ear to your friends or whoever just having a really hard time. And this is why I think the 3 of Swords is here as well. Okay, and now we're going to look at what kind of career path you can consider for my Power 3. What career path can Power 3 consider? What career path? Okay, and you have the Rebel. That is so interesting. Challenge authority to effect social change. Rejects spiritual system that do not serve inner needs. Okay, so once again, I feel that this is related to what I said earlier about the 6 of Coins. You want to, whatever you're working on, you just hope that your job, whatever you're doing, can bring about a positive change to the world or even to your community. That those people who are just not the top 1% and the underprivileged can have a say, can have a decent life as well. Okay, what career path can Power 3 consider? What career path can Power 3 consider? Okay, this card wants to come out. Ooh, okay, we have the blank card. Okay, so in this deck there are like, I think 3 blank cards, and I kind of just shuffle it in. Okay, let's get one more card. What career path can Power 3 consider? What career path can Power 3 consider? What career path can Power What should we consider? Career. Okay, what should we consider? Okay, so with this blank card, it doesn't mean that okay, you don't have a career. But what I get from this card is that your career is not what is traditionally considered a career. Okay, so which means that you may be creating your own like job, which means there is not really like an established job and you will be creating it on your own. Or what I get from this card also is that some of you may have more than one jobs, and I think it's just part of like a capitalism system where each of us are supposed to specialize in one area, and hence each of us have like a job that we're supposed to specialize in. But for you, as you are rebelling against like authority, you may end up having like more than one job, or like your job is not your job. So what I mean by this is that you may have a job that gives you a paycheck, but you can have a side job that you feel more passionate about. You do not follow the traditional, you do not conform to the traditional definition of a job. Okay, and here we have Fool. Fearlessly revealing emotions, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. And I feel that this really relates to the rebel. I think that you really see through the hypocrisy, see through the selfishness of the society. And I feel that people who choose this power is really an old soul. You've been through, this is not your first time on this earth. So having gone through so many lifetimes, you kind of like see through like beyond the materialistic. Sorry, I just lost my train of thoughts. You just see through how materialistic people can be. You just feel it's very superficial. Okay, and hence that's why you want to bring about a positive social change. That is why you care so much about the underprivileged. Because you're able to see through like the mask that people wear. Like just because they are privileged doesn't mean they're happy. That you know that chasing after money, chasing after fame, after social status will not make you happy. Okay, so now let's see what advices we can give you. Okay, what advice do you have for my poetry? What advice do you have for my poetry? And what I get from this card is some of you may really enjoy doing or writing, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, satire. Okay, basically it means that coming up with some form of comedy to help people laugh at themselves, like how hypocrite they are. And you have the Death card. Okay, it's all about change. You're bringing about a change. You want to bring about a very positive change to the current traditional beliefs. See, you have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is someone who is like very idealistic. Okay, they have a lot of passion. About the world, and what I feel about the whole entire spread is that for my poetry, you guys are the superheroes. You really want to change the world. You have this dreams or these ideals of how the world can become a better place. But in order to do so, something needs to end. For the world to start again, to have a new beginning, things need to end. And you hope that you can bring about the end to perhaps the ways or methods that are not helping the society or the community anymore. And you help that, be it whatever that you're doing, you help to make people realize that, to bring about a change. Okay, and people may see what you're doing as rather rebellious, as being like a fool. People may think that you're not even having a proper job. that you're too idealistic, you're just a dreamer, and at the end of the day, whatever you're doing is not working out. But my dear poetry, hang in there. We all need, I feel like the world need your kind of people. We need people who brings about change, who believe that the act of one person can cause a ripple effect. Okay, and now let's see what other advice can we have from the self-care wisdom cards. Any advice we have for our poetry? Any advice we have for our poetry? Any advice we have for poetry? Any advice we have for poetry? Advice we have for poetry. Okay. So we have change. Oh my god, we have change. Okay, let me read you. A resistance to change is a resistance to life itself. Open your hearts and mind to new beginning. Oh my god. It completely relates to what I've been saying just now about my dear poetry wanting to bring on a change, wanting to bring on new beginning, and sorry, all those talks about change, and I also have to change my battery pack. So even just the act of changing a battery pack, the battery pack needs to die, then I or someone will take the action to change the battery pack. So this is the kind of change that you want to bring about to this world, okay? Something or like an existing social structure, existing social belief that is no longer serving the earth. That belief needs to die in order for a new beginning, new fresh recharge to energize the world again. And this is the change that you want to bring to the world. Okay. Any other advice or any other messages you have for my poetry? What advice or messages you have for poetry? What advice you have for poetry? What advice you have? Sorry. What advice you have for poetry? What advice do you have for poetry? Okay. Intention. Okay. What if the only resolution you made was to love yourself more? Okay, so what I get from this card is... Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to the camera, so I just realized it was not recording. Okay, so this is the second card you got, which is intention. Okay, so whatever, and this is intention number 1. It all starts with an intention. People who change the world, who eventually change the world, it all starts with this intention that they have in mind, and they carry it out into action. And your intention is the very first thing that you need to do. First, have an intention and think of a plan to carry it out. And I like how like both of your two cards have such beautiful flora borders around it. I just feel that this power are the power that will make the world blossom again. And we're going to end off your reading with affirmation cards. Okay, so what messages do we have for poetry? Messages do we have for poetry? Messages we have for poetry. There's so many. What affirmation do we have for poetry? Okay, so I just cut short the shuffling, and this is the affirmation card you have. I know that it is important to work hard and play even harder. I'm supposed to have fun. So my dear poetry, while trying to change the world, please remember to have fun, alright? And enjoy yourself in this very difficult process. Okay, and I hope this reading helped you, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!